Okay, so this is a quick video to show you how to do an audio slideshow using iMovie. First you need pictures and you need audio. So for this exercise I've put pictures in Sunspace there, and I've put a sound file in Sunspace there. So download both of those to your desktop, put them somewhere you can find them. And then start iMovie. They're all the University Macs have iMovie on, so just find that icon and click on it, and you will get this. The first step is to click Create to start your new project, and you want to click Movie, and then you can pick a theme. Some of these themes are a bit cheesy, so I think no theme's a good one. So just go with that, create, and then give it a name. Okay, so I've done that already. So here's one I made earlier. So then I get that. I've given it a name, Time and Weir Landmarks. The next thing to do is to add your photos and your audio to the system so you can start playing around with it. And what you need to do there is go to import, but first make sure that this one here is set to all clips so that when you upload the stuff you'll be able to see it. So you click import, that arrow, and then find your pictures. So there's the pictures I want to add, and then you click import selected, and then you do the same thing again to find the sound that you want to add, and that's my sound. So I would click that and then click import selected. So I've done that already, and here are my pictures and there's my sound. So this here is the timeline, your editing timeline, where you put all your content. So first of all I'm going to want to put pictures on there. So I will select the pictures that I want to add, like that. You can select them all at once if you want, so you can do something like that and just drag them. Any way you want really, so I'm going to do that and put them on there. So I've got all my pictures on there now, as you can see. So we start with Angel of the North, and it goes all the way through to all the different landmarks of Tyne and Wear. I've doubled up because this is just I'm just doing a quick exercise to show you how to do this. So that's the basics. So I can see now if I click here, that will get me to the start of my slideshow, and then if I click play, it will show me how that those images are going to scan through. So that's good. So you can always be checking up here to see what the final product's going to look like, and down here you fiddle with it to make alterations. So a few basic useful tips. At the moment this clip will run for 4 seconds, as it says there. So say I want to make it longer than that, I just highlight that and then pull it, and it'll add 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, however long you want. So I'll make that a bit longer. And if you want to make it shorter, it's the same deal. Shorter, minus. So that's how to fiddle with how long the image will stay on your screen when it's finished. The next thing to do is to add some audio. So you imported this audio earlier on, double click it to select it, and you just drag and drop it underneath anywhere really, as long as it's underneath, yeah. So now when you press play from the start, the pictures will play but the sound will play as well. So let's have a test and see what happens there. Okay, so the first picture that should show up is the Angel of the North, and give it a few seconds. Okay, so the first thing to say is I noticed that there's a bit of dead air at the start when I don't say anything, so I will fiddle with that a bit. Double click so you get that icon there. Oop, no. Slightly fiddly. And then pull it forward so that you can get rid of that silence. And then again, go back to the start and press play and see how that works. Okay, so the first picture that should show up is the angel. So I've managed to cut out some of that dead air. Okay, so that's the basics as it stands at the moment. Pictures and then audio. And at the moment, the audio runs to beyond the pictures, so you want to fix that straight away by fiddling with these pictures and spacing them out. Excuse me. Spacing them out so that they come broadly in line with the end of your audio. So I'll just drag that to the end there. Yeah, so they're now at the end, so they match up together. Now for this task, what I want you to do is to listen to the audio and try and match the pictures up to the audio. So for the first 10-20 seconds or so, I talk about the Angel of the North. Let's see. Okay, so the first picture that should show up is the Angel of the North, and give it a few seconds and then transfer to Roker P. Right, so at that point I want a transition to happen. So I've just paused it so I know where on the sound clip that transition should happen from one photo to the other. And I'll just move that along a little bit so it's bang on. And then we'll go back again, click on the start and see if that works. Okay, so the first picture that should show up is the Angel of the North, and give it a few seconds and then transfer to Roker Pier. And we can obviously with that one, my Roker Pier picture I shrunk earlier on, so it was much shorter, so I want to expand it so it's much longer. So I will fiddle around until and then check again on the audio to see where the next transition happens. So when you're doing your own stories, you obviously want the words to coincide with what people are seeing on screen. So that's the way I would do it, the easiest way to do it. Okay, so another basic trick might be to add a sound clip or a sound effect. So if you click on sound effects here, and there's a whole range of different ones, you can have a fiddle around and listen to them. That's kind of urban sounds, so I'm just going to take that one just for the purpose of this thing. And again, I'm going to stick that underneath the other two elements, and as long as it's parallel at the start, it will play simultaneously. Okay, so the first picture that should... The problem there is that it's too loud. So to change the sound levels, you click on it to adjust volume and drag it down a little bit. So I think probably 20%. Let's see how that works. Okay, so the first picture that should show up is the Angel of the North, and give it a few seconds. So you might want to drop it even lower than that, I think, but have a fiddle around and see what you think. So that's the basics. A bit of ambient sound from one of their own sound effects. You could use ambient sound that you've recorded yourself, which would be great. A bit of audio from someone, and then the pictures, obviously. The last basic thing I would add in is titles. So click on titles and pick one of these. This is kind of the opening credits, if you like, to your thing. It makes sense to give it a title just like you would any story. So I'm just going to pick that one at random. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it and click the point on the timeline where I want to put it, but I'm going to drag it, double select, and then put it in there. Yeah. Fiddle around with it a bit. So that's to overlap. So that will overlap now, and I put in the text that I want to put in. So the name. So I'll just call it audio slideshow test. Delete that. Okay. And click back to the start and see how that looks. Okay, so the first picture that should show up is the Angel of the North. And give it a few seconds and then transfer to Roker Pier. Okay, I dropped in another one by mistake there, but I would delete that because I don't want it. So yeah, they're the basic elements. And once you're finished and you're happy with it, you can click share and you can share it to YouTube. Okay, so have a fiddle around, get the pictures in, take the soundtrack, have a fiddle with the effects,